Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to System Glitch Podcast.
You can hear it. You gotta turn your volume down on that.
Damn. Worth it.
Do we need to do another? Hello?
Hello.
Hello!
I don't know why.
Hello, my name's Jonas. I just don't want it picking up in your mic.
I'm carrying
It's not
the
that
wind.
loud anymore.
Okay, we should be.
Thanks for all you shown us. This is how we fail.
I like big balls.
Oh, like big balls, I cannot lie.
Something I can deny. When a dude's nutsack
Alright.
is up in your face and you get. Oh.
You ready?
3, 2, 1.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to System Glitch Podcast with me, Kevin, the Gandyman.
Me, Spartan TM, Blake McKee. Yeah, there we go.
And your favorite, Cyborg Centaur.
Yes, he is
Dustin.
definitely the favorite. Ladies and gentlemen, we thank you all for tuning back into the System Glitch Podcast for episode number 2. It's a little bit later than we had anticipated. It is now May, 3rd.
Yes.
And so we had planned to do it once a month. This is going to probably have twice this month, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. But we thank you all for tuning back in. Today we are going to talk about a lot of stuff in regards to Star Wars and so on and so forth.
Yes.
That Star Wars celebration was straight up fire. Like, I don't know.
I only watched the one part I cared about.
I actually watched a lot more than I was expecting to watch, but I did watch quite a bit. We're going to talk about some of the new movies coming out this month. We're going to talk about Injustice 2 as our game spotlight, and we're going to talk about some news such as Avatar, James Cameron's Avatar stuff, Call of Duty World War II's reveal, and some other things like that. Anyways, shall we begin, ladies and gentlemen? Our first topic is Star Wars Celebration. We're going to give it a general scale of 1 on a scale of 10 on a scale of
On a scale of
10.
knees to toes.
On a scale of 1 to 10, we're going to each grade the Star Wars Celebration as a whole. So for me, I decided to give it an 8 to 8.5 out of 10 because I really enjoyed the entire message. A lot of it was devoted to Carrie Fisher. They obviously showed off what we all expected, the Star Wars Last Jedi trailer. Although I was hoping that they were going to show a little bit more than what they showed, because at this point, before The Force Awakens, we had 2 or 3 trailers. We only have 1 trailer for the Last Jedi right now.
Well, that's a recent development actually in Hollywood. I wasn't talking to, but I was following James Gunn, the director of Guardians of the Galaxy. A pretty standard thing for Disney now is the trailers that they make, they're only doing them from the first 20 minutes of the film. So that way it doesn't spoil major plot points.
That's smart.
But that doesn't fit
Like the
the Last
vast
Jedi,
majority.
because it looks like there's a lot. If it's just the first 20 minutes of the movie, there's a lot that happens in the first 20 minutes.
Specifically dialogue and major plot scenes.
Okay, I can
So
see that.
literally
I can see that.
any dialogue that you hear or anything like that is going to come from the first 20 minutes.
So Luke's breathe, just breathe. What do you see? And Rey's response is pretty much.
I'm guessing that literally is going to be the first scene. Like
It could
that'd be my guess. Is like it's going to
literally
open up
said
on
that
Rey.
they're taking even the little teaser that they talked or that they showed last year sometime about when the shooting just started for The Last Jedi. They said that they were picking up right where exactly right where the Force Awakens leaves off, which I kind of want to see Luke's first words to Rey. Not because I don't think
They're probably like,
Rey is-
"Hi, how are you?" It's been a long time.
This will be where Luke will tell Rey, "Hello, daughter."
Or niece.
Hello, Obi-Wan's daughter.
It's
Whoa.
not going to be
Obi-Wan's
Obi-Wan's daughter.
granddaughter.
She's too young to be Obi-Wan's
Obi-Wan's
daughter.
granddaughter.
I can see that more so than anything else. But yeah, and then I thought the EA panel, or more specifically the Battlefront 2 panel, was really good.
I saw the trailer. It looked good.
Yeah, I saw the trailer. That was pretty good.
So, Dustin, your ranking of the overall celebration.
The 2 parts I watched, I give it like probably like a 7 out of 10.
Okay.
Okay, and the no parts that I watched, I think it would be wrong of me to put a ranking on something I didn't actually watch.
10 out of 10.
I'm going to give that trailer for Battlefront a solid.
Did you see
8?
the trailer for the
Yeah, I saw
Last
the
Jedi?
I think I did. Yeah, I did. I did.
You know.
I did.
Man, you were very bad on research if you didn't.
I know. I've had a lot going on this month.
They did it was a shot for shot of the first Force Awakens trailer too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
I love how, like, all over YouTube there's been, like, trailers popping up that says trailer for this movie in the Force Awakens style. It's like,
I got fooled by one. One of them was really well done.
It's like
completely
oh my
it
gosh.
completely got me.
But it's crazy how, like, they're giving styles for trailers now. Like they redid Star Wars Episode 3's trailer, or Star Wars Episode 3 and a Force Awakens trailer version
Format,
yeah. And I'm just like, it's interesting how, and then there's been some for, like, I don't know if there was one for a Guardians of the Galaxy format, but there's been a lot of edits popping up like that.
There is the people that are doing them definitely have their own style to it, and that's cool because they're telling a story with their style, which is what it's all about. But the fact that they're doing it with trailers, I think, is cool because trailers are the single biggest hype you can build for a movie, and like the fact that we're getting a really, really good trailers these days is awesome. Like, these trailers didn't used to be good like, at all.
Yeah. And they're not very spoiler.
Yeah, like Inception's original trailer, I freaking hated it. Like, it was terrible. Like, I hated like a lot of like films like from 4 years ago's trailers. But now they're like, we're getting really good.
Yeah, right now the trailers are pretty pristine.
All of them are Disney related.
Yeah, right.
But, so
which was your favorite part? I know you said you only watched 2. Mm-hmm. So did you have a favorite out of?
I did Last Jedi.
Last Jedi. Which so you saw the Battlefront 2 trailer and the Last Jedi trailer. Which one was your favorite?
Last Jedi.
Last Jedi.
Even
I have
I'll
to say.
Messing with Battlefront 2 a lot more.
Mm-hmm.
I have to say The Last Jedi was my favorite. I do really like Mark Hamill's own panel, which was a tribute to Carrie Fisher. Like, he literally had like 40 minutes, like a 40-minute panel where he talked about with his relationship with Carrie Fisher and all that. I really thought that was a really good, tasteful panel. Also, the 40-year celebration, I thought was pretty cool. They brought Harrison Ford in. They brought Mark Hamill, obviously.
Anakin.
Anakin
actually showed up.
Hayden Christensen
showed up.
was in that panel as well.
Which people
It was
hate
interesting
him, so.
because also Samuel L. Jackson did a Skype in or like a pre-recorded thing that he sent over, and he was kind of teasing that, my character didn't necessarily have to die when he fell off the tall building in Coruscant. Everybody was all up in a uproar. It's like, wait, is Mace Windu's character still alive?
Confirmed.
Snoke is Mace Windu.
It's like,
so it's interesting because like that one pre-recorded like thing just kind of made everybody start predicting all these other loops. Like, there's gonna be a Mace Windu solo movie. Oh my gosh! I think Samuel L. Jackson is a little too old to star in his own Mace Windu movie now.
We're past the point of no return with that.
yeah.
But if for some reason he survived, I could see some kind of like Obi-Wan Mace Windu meetup during the Obi-Wan solo movie.
I have a theory about what they're gonna do with Star Wars going forward.
Because Ewan McGregor was not at the celebration at all.
Nah, I wish he was. But speaking of which, I think they did mention that that it's possible he's going to be in a flashback scene at some point.
Huh.
So,
I know they were talking about that with Hayden Christensen as well.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, yeah, I like the consistency they're going to try to keep from here on out. But yeah, it was just cool to see all the people that showed up. I did like pop in like and watch like the Twitter occasionally and just to see who came. I was really surprised. Hayden Christensen has a pretty good support about it. Apparently.
I was afraid that whenever he took the stage, there was going to be a lot of people that disrespected him, and the fact that everybody cheered for him, I was like, oh, thank God. Because I really think Hayden Christensen is a good actor. It's not a very popular belief.
Yeah, me too.
But he's a fairly good actor. He didn't deserve the flack. He did the best with the writing that he
biggest
got.
problem, was the writing. It was not actors. They were not sparse for talent. They were sparse for good writing.
Yeah, exactly.
Which that was completely George Lucas's fault.
Yeah.
George Lucas totally screwed over everything on the prequels. Thanks, George.
Yeah.
But see, this is so this year's Star Wars Celebration was pretty much all about The Last Jedi and all about Battlefront 2. They're saying that a lot of people were wishing that they would have a little bit more, especially in the last day when they were saying in the year where they were talking about the years to come or whatever. They were hoping that somebody would have brought up the fact that they were planning on doing these, or they were going to announce the other solo films, because right now we have Rogue One, we know we're having Han Solo, but after that we don't know any. But they're saying that they're probably going to release that information at D23, which is happening in like July or something. So
I'm still waiting for the Netflix series. that is inevitable at this point.
dude, I would love there to be a Star Wars live action Netflix series.
That'd be cool.
I would watch the crap out of that.
Yeah, it'd be awesome.
All right, so we pretty much even covered our final thoughts. The only thing that I also have to admit, it seems like Star Wars and Disney's Star Wars specifically is focusing on a lot of strong female characters. I don't know if you've noticed that.
Yeah.
Because like Star Wars Battlefront 2, their main character is female, is a pretty like strong female. I mean, she's the leader of a special ops force. Yeah. I'm wondering if it's going to be kind of like Republic Commando, the first person shooter video game that they made, because I mean they're supposed to be special ops. But
which was a pretty fun game.
Actually, it was really good.
Wanted to.
I have it, I think.
Yeah,
it was pretty fun. But like I'm with you. I've been seeing a lot of it, and I'm really happy of it because I mean, quite frankly,
they need more
every single protagonist, every single like
characters.
main protagonist in a Star Wars game that didn't let you customize your protagonist was a male, and then every single, and like, obviously males led the original films. So it's like it's nice to see like there like another perspective in the universe. So I'm just
I totally agree. And the one new character that they announced for The Last Jedi was a female character. They said that you're gonna have Rey, you're gonna have Luke, you're gonna have John Boyega's character Finn and Poe Dameron.
It's always been an ensemble cast. Yeah.
Here's a new character. The biggest new character is a female, and everybody is saying that that's gonna be Finn's romantic relationship in the series from now on, which I'm okay with as long as it's not Rey. Let's see. I did already brush up on the my thoughts on Mark Hamill's preview of Carrie, or tribute to Carrie.
We need to get into some theories about the trailer, yo.
The trailer for
The
Last Jedi. Okay, fire away.
All right. So I think it confirmed that I had a theory, and I don't know if I talked about it on the last podcast, but I'm pretty sure that mine's right, and that is that the Jedi are not better than the Sith. They're actually the same amount of corruption, just in a different way, because while they believe in like pushing everything away in order to make room for only obedience, the Sith throw obedience away and take everything else, and so there's no moderation, aka there's no balance there. So the Jedi are just as guilty about throwing the Force off balance as the Sith in reality, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So I think that like in one of the lines from the trailer is Luke Skywalker saying like, the only thing I know is that the Jedi like need to be like needs to end or something like that.
Yeah, the Jedi must end or something.
And when he said that, I was like, like, because they were just as big a cause for the lack of balance.
But in all reality, though, the Jedi kind of technically already ended whenever Kylo Ren wiped out Luke's order.
So Luke, it's indicated pretty strongly throughout the entire Force Awakens that Luke was trying to rebuild the Jedi and like trying to teach people and stuff, and it didn't work. Like, people strayed to the dark side almost like not terribly long. It seems like it didn't take very long for it to happen, you know. Like, so that's where I'm coming from, and so I'm thinking that this is now going to be about Rey being a balance of Force, like not necessarily.
I agree.
Basically, the Jedi and Sith coming together and making like no, we don't have to give up everything, but we need moderation and balance in all things. And I think that that's going to be kind of where they're going to go with it, and I'm really happy about that because it makes for a much more interesting story.
It seems like a pretty overall consensus that the Last Jedi is talking about Luke, and Rey is going to be this new generation of what has come popular to be known as the Gray Jedi.
Yeah, from the original
and the Star Wars
canon.
Rebels and
That is
stuff
no longer
like that.
that is no longer canon.
Yeah, but I mean, even in Star Wars Rebels, they introduced the idea of like the Gray Jedi, the neutral Jedi from.
But like they would literally go and attack Jedi or Sith depending on where the
to
balance
keep
needed to be
keep
kept.
the balance exactly.
So they would either antagonize or protagonize, depending on the need. So
They're also saying that there was quotes and voices of Yoda in some of Rey's dialogue. Whenever she says, "I see light, darkness, balance," there's voices of Yoda, Obi-Wan Kenobi, and that's where a lot of people are saying, "Oh my gosh, she's a descendant of Kenobi because Kenobi's coming back up in the dialogue again." It's like, come on, Yoda's in both the scenes. Why not she is an offspring of Yoda then?
She could be.
she's not
Who
green.
knows?
She's not green enough.
That is true. That is true.
No, so like, yeah, my whole thing with that was always like, it doesn't seem likely to me that Luke would have gone on to have kids. It doesn't seem like, especially like, so his main priority would have been, I need to go ahead and start the Jedi. The only love interest he ever had was his sister, so we know that didn't go nowhere.
That's true.
So my whole thing is like, it would make sense. It would make sense because like the Jedi Order ended, so like Obi-Wan wasn't really training Luke like a Jedi would train Luke, like Obi-Wan was just like, hey, this is what happens, it's your job. And I think that Obi-Wan probably left the Order, like he accepted that the Jedi was over and that he went and lived his own path.
I can see that,
That's
but
my personal
I still don't like. My biggest thing, and I know it's a very shallow like idea or thought process, but my biggest reason for Rey being Luke's daughter, other than the fact that I believe the Force Awakens pretty much all but confirmed it, is the fact that I don't see any other potential person being in the Star Wars universe, whether it be Qui-Gon or Obi-Wan or Luke or Han and Leia. I don't think anybody. I don't think it can be anybody else.
I think that if it's not Obi-Wan, they should just not name who it is. I just would rather they not, because
I think if it's
Luke,
not Luke,
if it's Luke, that's really shallow, silly writing. And I'm going to be real, like that's a cop-out move to me.
Yeah.
To be honest, if it's not Luke, I would rather it be this. I would rather the story be Snoke is actually Plagueis who created, and it was in one of the books. It says Plagueis tried to create Anakin, but he failed. But the midi-chlorians kind of rebelled against him and created Anakin anyway in a different kind of light. I'm guessing Plagueis decided he was trying to create Anakin to be corrupt and dark side, but then the midi-chlorians were like, no. We're going to create an all-powerful being in the light.
Another cool theory on that would be, I would also be cool if Rey was actually a clone.
Yeah,
There's a theory that she could be a clone of Luke.
I could see Snoke being Plagueis and Plagueis retrying what he tried with Anakin and Rey.
There's a lot of theories thrown around about
I would
that,
rather that be the case if she wasn't Luke's
It's nice that it's a universe where cloning is already established
Yeah,
as existing,
right.
so it's not that unfeasible that it's a clone.
That'd be kind of weird, though, I think.
So what is the true size of Snoke?
The size of Yoda.
There's a lot of ways I could take that.
I know. because I mean everybody was like bashed The Force Awakens for using CGI for Snoke and how he's so huge.
Well, yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah,
like, that's a classic propaganda piece.
Exactly.
Like you're gonna be big. You need to display yourselves as bigger, like as a bigger, more powerful person to your.
Here's another question: how much
more powerful?
How much more powerful do you think Kylo Ren's going to be compared to Rey, or do you think Kylo Ren's going to be more powerful than Rey?
I think that he's going to have power, but it's like I said, like since the new theme of what I think these movies is balance, balancing the Force. So I think that Kylo Ren, because he is in such like reckless abandon of balance, that it's going to overconsume him. I think ultimately his own power, even though it's an insane amount of power, and he's probably going to take some people out with him, I think that it's going to kill him. I think he's going to die by his own power.
Really?
Ultimately.
Do you think he's going to die in episode 9 then?
I think it'll be the last last episode of the new trilogy if they do it. I don't think they're going to kill him off in the second one.
I don't think they have. I don't think they can.
It seems like he's too much of a player.
So,
they actually, Carrie Fisher is going to be all the way in through episode 9.
Actually, Kathleen Kennedy came back and said that she wasn't.
Oh, really? Okay, so they changed
because
their mind. She's going to be in
Carrie
8.
Carrie Fisher completed all of her scenes in 8.
Mm-hmm.
Then Carrie Fisher's brother, after Carrie Fisher died, said that she was going to be in 9.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like, shortly before the Star Wars Celebration, I think, like, the week before,
Kathleen
Kathleen Kennedy was like, "No, he's kind of got it wrong. Carrie's only."
She might
in
be
8.
shown, but it won't be like a.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what they're going to do with her character between 8 and 9, because it doesn't sound like Carrie Fisher's character died in 8. It sounded like she was going to be in 9. So I'm wondering if they're going to try and like in the title crawl at the beginning, they're going to say Leia
things like
died.
this are prepared for. Like, I don't think people understand that. Like, if your actor's over the age of I mean, people are prepared. Like, Hollywood is a multi-billion-dollar business. Like, these people don't mess around. Like, if they know that you're older and that you have a chance of dying, like, they have plans. Like, they will shoot alternate scenes of you dying or your character going away or something.
Yeah.
Like, things are usually planned for.
And
so I heavily doubt they weren't prepared for anything like this.
And Star Wars is a lot easier because they do have that title crawl at the beginning of every episodic.
Yeah, so they can fill in a lot of gaps.
Movie, so. Before moving on, since we briefly talked about the spin-off movies, we do have Rogue One. We do know Han Solo's movie is coming out in a little over a year now, because his movie is coming out May 16th or 18th next year.
Yeah. The Last Jedi is coming out next year too, right?
No, not Last Jedi is coming out
this year
in December.
Okay, so next year we'll get the Han Solo. The year after we'll get the last Star Wars film. And then
yeah,
because that's what it seems like they're doing every year with them.
Actually, I think it's 6 months after Han Solo we're supposed to be getting 9.
Okay, sweet.
Because originally it was supposed to be December of 2015 Force Awakens, December of 2016 Rogue One.
Then
they've
already
later
been
it was supposed
delayed.
to be 8, and then a year later it was supposed to be Han Solo, and then 6 months later it was supposed to be 9, and then a year later it was supposed to be the next one.
Yeah, which we've been delayed, and that's expected.
Yeah.
With the business. So.
But the only movie that was delayed was the Last Jedi as of right now.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess there's a chance that Han Solo can be delayed, but I don't know. They're also saying that Han Solo is going to be shown at the first trailer for Han Solo is going to be shown at D23.
I also don't have very high hopes for the Han Solo.
Really?
There, I don't have very high hopes.
I don't like the fact that they casted some characters in the Han Solo movie simply because of their fame from Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Like they casted Emilia Clarke or whatever simply because she was in.
Well, she's a great actress.
Well, yeah, she's a great actress, but it seemed like the main reason why she got it was because she was so famous from Game of Thrones.
Yeah, I'm kind of hoping. This is a little off topic, so you have to forgive me for straying a little bit. But there was a video game that was going to come out long time ago from the Star Wars universe, and it was going to take place in just the seedy underground, and there was a
1313.
Yeah, 1313.
Yeah.
A lot of people think that that's going to be the new live action series that's going to come out.
I can see that.
It has to happen. They have to do a series at some point.
Yeah.
And honestly, I don't think that would have happened without Guardians of the Galaxy being as big of a hit as it was. Guardians of the Galaxy is what gave people that sci-fi could be good again.
Mm-hmm.
And so once that hit, I was I'm sold. Everything sci-fi can have really good stories. It can be relatable. It doesn't have to be really out there. So
what other standalone Star Wars films do you guys want to see?
Oh man. It's a place in my heart, but they've already beaten that horse. I feel to death. But I would have loved to see the standalone Darth Maul story.
More Darth Maul, yeah.
Just because he's such a that's one of the reasons I hated Episode 1 is not even the little kid who played Anakin, who wasn't that great. But just the fact that Darth Maul was just a scary person, that there was nothing, there was no depth. He was just a weapon. He's just boring.
I would like, if they did something with Darth Maul, I would like to see it be pre-Episode 1 era.
Well, there was a video game being made of Darth Maul.
I understand that Darth Maul came back in the Clone Wars and the Rebels series and all this other stuff, but in my opinion, once you're cut in half, you should be dead.
Well, they had like a way, like the way that they basically pulled a Grievous on him, and his entire bottom half was
and I'm aware of that. I'm
parts.
completely okay with that, but once you cut somebody, like Darth Vader was the exception. Darth Vader, because you started out.
I mean, if you're not bleeding, because it's already proven that like it is impossible to bleed if you're cut by a lightsaber. So, just saying.
I would like to see a lot of pre-Episode 1 era standalone films. I would love, and I know Knights of the Old Republic is not necessarily
if they do
canon anymore, but they're still producing content, or they were producing content for the Old Republic.
Yeah, I think that if they do pre-Episode 1, it'll be the 1313 style, and it'll be like very political, but like very behind the scenes, like crime and stuff.
I really want to see one specifically about Revan, though. And I mean, I know it's not canon right now, but they have brought back canon story elements for Rebels. Yeah. So I'm like, come on.
I want to see it because something that'd be really cool is like the series that exists. That like in my perfect mind, there should be a series like you said before. Episode 1, but like the seedy underground politics and everything, but it's about the rise of Palpatine.
I would actually like to see that as well.
Because that'd be freaking sweet, right?
It's something I did not realize until I started watching a couple of Star Wars videos on YouTube a couple days ago.
Because he would have had to like get elected.
Palpatine was still Plagueis' apprentice during the time of Episode 1. He didn't kill Plagueis until after he became Chancellor. I did not realize that. So I would love to see like the background story.
I personally think that the theory that Snoke is Plagueis is probably going to hold up pretty well.
I would love to see that. I think really that would be a very interesting, cool dynamic to have intertwined with the entire. Like, of course, Plagueis and Snoke wasn't in the original trilogy, but Palpatine was. So I think having Snoke be Plagueis really would be good writing.
Yeah,
to happen.
They can't ignore the prequels, so like you might as well include them in a way that makes sense.
Yeah, or just redo them.
No, can't do it.
I don't think they'll redo Lucas's work.
No. They won't.
Maybe like 100
they won't give him
that
big a slap in the face. They'll tell him to his face that he's a horrible director, but they won't slap him in the face and redo it.
I could see them maybe redoing some of the Star Wars movies 100 years down the road when everything is obsolete from the Star Wars series. But
the only way we can do it, you know what? Forget it. Standalone Jar Jar series. Watch as he is actually the secret apprentice of the Sith, and how he screwed over everybody.
And he pops up in Episode 9. Misa back.
I would leave the theater.
Someone needs to like the whole thing was that like.
But it's actually confirmed in a graphic novel for Star Wars that Jar Jar was actually found on Naboo in like poverty or whatever. I don't exactly remember it, but he was in poverty because everybody blamed him for the rise of the Emperor. So he did not have a very good.
He suffered and died like he deserved.
Yeah, right. All right, so I think we pretty much beat Star Wars Celebration pretty well. So let's talk about our second topic, which is E3 predictions and wish list. I know Dustin has a very negative thought on E3, so I'll let Dustin go first.
Yeah, I'm hoping that they announce that it's the last E3 because that would be really awesome.
I highly doubt they're gonna do that.
I don't think
they will. But like, so my whole thing is E3 is a dead medium. Trade shows, unless it's technology, and yet, entertainment trade shows don't work.
And yet, so many people still tune in to watch what news coming out.
Except you're watching like all right, so like your biggest source of gaming news today is online content creators, right? Online content creators have been running away from E3 because they hate it. Well, because they can't get in to test the games. There's no
because it was all exclusively press.
Yeah, like
now that it's opened up to everybody.
So these content creators are press. That's how they got in. So like these content creators would go, and they'd go to like stand in line, and then like there would be no dedicated promotional materials going around. Like if you want to look at how like an event like that's supposed to go, you should go look at Blizzard's. Like Blizzard brings in the right people to test the right things. Okay. They make sure that the right people are shown to the right place. The problem with E3 is that doesn't happen. The problem with E3 is you wait in line, and then it's hour to 2 hour waits, and you can't get to like a couple games.
I know the solution. Eliminate E3 and have E4. And so essentially what's happening here is
a sequel.
You get a sequel. So
it's going to be worse.
You got the dudes from Blizzard coming in, or people who actually know how to organize something, and they essentially reorganize it all. Still have the trade, or like still have like the thing that Microsoft does, that Sony does, that Ubisoft does.
The press conferences. And those don't even happen during the actual days of E3.
Right. And so you still have those because a lot of people will enjoy tuning in and seeing, okay, cool, this is new coming out. This is new coming out. Or here's a new trailer. Here's some gameplay. Even though it's staged, it's still gameplay.
Yeah.
Or just
or it's
put
real
it
gameplay
all,
and it crashes like Uncharted 4.
Why don't they all just have their own? Sony has a press conference whenever they're ready to show off their finished products.
Sony has PlayStation Experience, which is in like November.
And that should be where we're getting the majority of this stuff. E3 as a trade show, it doesn't really work anymore. Their way of doing their trade show is terrible, and they can't impress people. And now that they've opened it up to the public, nobody's going to get to see anything except like a select few people who were in line first. And that way of doing things screws up. That means that if you do get opinions on a game, it's not going to be professionals anymore. It's not going to be people who know what they're talking about. So, ultimately, when you get to E3, the news that we're going to start getting from E3 is going to be a lot of people who just are newbies who just showed up at the show and happen to be in line at the right time. It's going to be a lot of that. And that's going to throw a lot of gaps. And then of course you're going to have the big press conferences, which is nice. I don't think those should end. I just think that should be done on their own time.
See, this is where I get you. Whenever the press conferences are over, I largely just my E3 is over.
Yeah.
I every once in a while, I'll go on to IGN or I'll go on to GameSpot and I'll take a look at the game show game stages where they'll talk about a specific game here and there. But largely my interest is the press conferences. Yeah. And to a point, I see where you're coming from. Sony has every time there's a big announcement from Sony usually puts on an event. Or they just wait until PSX. Yeah. But I don't think that it should be strictly, and I don't think that the developers should be putting on their own press conference every time there's something big. And I think that's why E3 is so important, because they're not investing all of their money into producing what Call of Duty just did.
They're already having to put money behind it. That's
they do, but they don't have to finance everything. They don't have to finance
a quicker solution then would be to eliminate the floor. You shouldn't be having a product floor then, because at that point just have the press conferences. Show off what you want to show off there.
See, I said, that I would be fine.
Nobody
with that.
gets great.
Completely
nobody
honest,
gets great. Nobody gets great publicity on the floor anyway.
Yeah.
The people that walk around the floor, the people that you see interviewing, still had to wait in line. Still had to get it. They scheduled it. Some of them can manage to schedule interviews, which is awesome, but the way it's run is just weird. No content creator I watch who goes to E3 likes it. They always hate the experience. Every single one I've ever seen was
that I've seen that
that's
actually
horrible.
don't mind it, but
if they don't, and then if the best review,
like
it was because IGN is the IGN. IGN would give any experience they go through a 10 out of 10.
This is actually kind of true.
That's true.
I'm talking about you look at the people that go the hardcore people that go Machinima, who I don't care for them as much anymore, but Machinima goes. They don't really care for it that much. A lot of the individuals, content creators that I watch that win are all it's just a sweaty mess. It's just a big old sweat pile in the showroom, and it's just not fun. So I don't know. All that said, I just think that E3, my opinion is
needs to start whittling down.
It needs to whittle down and update into a more modern a more modern way of doing.
So
things.
you're kind of wanting it to be more like a con then, like a
Convention.
gaming con.
Yeah, a convention.
Yeah.
Like, because conventions work out better than trade shows, especially for this medium.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. But anyway, that's just me.
And so aside from the negatives,
Aside from the negatives, I would love to see Hideo Kojima. And I hope,
Sony right there. That's going to be on the Sony press.
I already know that Red Dead Redemption 2 is not going to make it out this year.
Really?
But
That's a
I would
bold
like
statement.
them to come out and say no,
Oh, yeah,
it
you
is.
said that
I would
last
like
time.
them to prove me wrong. So prove me wrong, Rockstar.
They're saying that there is going to be
When has a
new
Rockstar
Red
game
Dead-
ever come out on time?
They're saying that there's going to be a new Red Dead Redemption trailer coming out this month. They're
I want to believe them. I want to.
so many rumors are swirling that because this is the month that the original like Red Dead Redemption came out, like in 2010, they're saying that they're going to respect the anniversary and release more information about Red Dead Redemption 2.
Like,
Or they could just release Redemption 2 this month. And
Blake-
be like, oh, by the
But
way,
we already know it's going to be fall.
Blake-
it comes
Kevin.
out next week.
Blake, Kevin, when
What?
is the last time a Rockstar game has ever come out on
I don't
time?
know.
There's
I never-
always
I
a
never-
first.
I never buy
There's
them.
always a first.
I never buy them when they first come out because they cost a lot of money, and I'm a
That's
broke
true.
college kid, and I have no money, and I have bills to pay and life to live. And,
It's a lot of facial hair on a kid.
yeah, man.
All right. Anything else?
And Hideo Kojima. I already said
Okay.
it. But like Hideo Kojima, I can't wait to see what he's working on. I know it's Death Stranding still, but I can't wait to see it more. Just because I like him. And
You have anything to add, Blake, before I start?
anything you want to see?
Anything your wish list for E3 or your predictions?
Halo. I already know there's going to be some Halo 6 related.
Okay, come on.
Hey,
Microsoft
by
can
the
stop
way, shut up.
throwing out
Shut up,
Halo
you shut up,
stuff.
you swine. They don't need to. All
Actually,
right,
they're going back
Activision.
to
Considering how Halo 5 was not as good as everybody was hoping.
I'm taking the mic over here for a second. Let's go. All right, we're about to battle. Okay, so
Rap
Halo 5, yes, the multiplayer. Okay, let me talk. Halo 5 is the best multiplayer in my opinion since Halo 2, and I say that because it is the most well-received multiplayer in all of the series. Now, the campaign 343 themselves have even said themselves that they screwed up royally on the campaign, and they even came out with an article recently I read that they said that they're idiots, but they're like, we did not realize how much people really loved Master Chief. So next Halo will focus on Master Chief.
Who needs good characters when you can shoot more people?
I know, but anyways, so like the next Halo is pretty much. I think you're only playing as Master Chief in the next Halo. So think of it like this: Halo 1, you played Master Chief. Halo 2, you played Master Chief and Arbiter. In Halo 3, you played Master Chief. Now Halo 6, I'm going to predict is like they said on Master Chief, and what it's going to be like is Halo 4, you played Master Chief. Halo 5, you played Locke and Master Chief. Halo 6, you played Master Chief. It's the exact same daggone thing as the first trilogy. And
So
this
they're going to
trilogy's
retell a story.
No, they're not retelling. I'm talking about how they're doing the story, as in like the first story, like Halo 1 compared to Halo 4, both Master Chief games. Halo 2 compared to Halo 5, Master Chief Arbiter, Master Chief Locke, respectively. Halo 3 and Halo 6. Halo 3 was Master Chief. Halo 6 is supposed to be Master Chief. So I'm not going to say 100% because it's not out yet, of course, but that's what they said in their article. Is like it's going to be Master Chief. And so what I predict it's going to be like kind of like Halo 5, where player 1's Master Chief, player 2 is going to be this, player 3 is going to be this, and they're probably going to do like player 2's Locke or something like that. I don't know. And for the love of God, I hope they fix their marketing so it's not like, oh, we're going to be going through the galaxy chasing Master Chief down, and I don't know if Master Chief's a good guy or a bad guy. Whereas in like 2 missions in, you're like, oh, we're on his side again. Okay, cool.
So
Anyways,
here's
I'll
my
give you the
question.
mic back. I'm sorry.
Here's my question.
I don't care about your question. Halo 6 is going to come out, and
Is
it's going to be
Bungie still producing is Bungie still producing Halo?
good. Are you serious?
Bungie
kind of question is that?
doesn't exist anymore.
Bungie does exist. They
do
made
they?
Destiny.
Yeah.
What the heck?
Destiny. Oh,
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
God.
See, but
Who,
do
are
they
you a
still
human?
make?
they don't
do still
exist in
make
the world of
Halo?
Halo.
No, they make Destiny.
Okay, so
343 does Halo.
Okay, I did not know that.
Yeah,
But
343
Halo-
is
I know
the
that
guys,
now.
But
the
Halo-
guys in Bungie who
Right.
who didn't give up on Halo.
Yeah.
Right. So Halo is owned by Microsoft. So when
Yeah, I got
Bungie
that.
left Microsoft, Microsoft kept Halo.
Yeah.
So
I got that.
This is
okay.
what we're doing. Yeah,
I was
343.
just I was going to say if Bungie is still working on Halo, then there's no way Halo 6 is going to come out this year. They're probably not even going to show it. But now that I know that it's not Bungie,
Yeah, 343's been doing better with the property.
You
I think.
PlayStation owner.
but even so, man,
I like how I'm the only Xbox owner at this table.
I'm about ready to say that
I just sold my
Halo
360
has
too.
almost run its course.
So-
I know that's hard to say, and I know that's hard to hear, but like, and I mean, I'm not
it's not hard to
hating,
hear.
I'm not
Here's-
hating on Halo
right,
by
here-
any stretch of the imagination. I just think that
Here's what I'm kind of thinking. I'm thinking this story.
Kind of like Call of Duty ran its course and
Yeah,
Battlefield ran
exactly.
its course.
Right, so
and-
here's what I'm
so
thinking.
they're bringing them back.
Right.
All it takes is one good game to bring the hype
Here's
back.
what I'm thinking. Yeah, Halo 6 is going to bring the hype back, and they're going to be able to continue this story. But you got to think, Master Chief's kind of getting up there in age. Now, he is an augmented person, so he could live for 800 years. I don't know. I mean, it's a different
He's
universe.
Yoda.
Unlike
He
my,
might be.
unlike my
He could
interest
be Emperor
in Halo.
Palpatine. I'm just kidding. Anyways, so like,
Stoked.
what I'm kind of thinking is, this story is probably coming to an end. Halo 6 is probably going to wrap up this story of Master Chief Log and all that, and then you're going to start seeing side games like we're going to see more ODSTs, as in like remember Halo ODST when that came out. We might start seeing more games like that. We might start seeing more
Halo Wars.
like Halo Reach-esque sort of games where it goes back and talks about the story there's this whole story in Halo Ghost of Onyx
There's going
of
to
how
be
the
a,
how the Spartan 3s actually like came in different
Cortana game.
Hold up, wait a second. It's the different. No, they're not gonna be a Cortana game, anyways. How like Ghost of Onyx, it talked about the creation of the Spartan 3s and how they were actually made for like suicide missions. They send in like thousands or hundreds, I don't remember how many, but it was like hundreds of thousands of Spartan 3s into different companies, and they'd be like, yeah, you're probably not gonna come back, but just get the mission done. And so like, it's pretty cool if you could go back and actually see their creation of the Spartan 3s. Now, Halo Reach, yeah, they were Spartan 3s apparently, but they were like a different type of Spartan 3s. So like they were made given special armor because like Spartan 3s didn't have energy shields, but according to the lore for Halo Reach, which I had to go back and read it all because like originally there were no Spartan 3s on Reach, and then they changed some of the lore to where there's this squad of Spartan. I don't know. Anyways.
It's complicated.
It's complicated. I don't know all the story anymore because I used to, and now I have to go back and read it because they were like, oh, let's change this little chunk. Let's twist it. Anyways, that's what I predict. Moving on, because I could go in forever, and I have work later. So,
I will. Let me add one more thing to that. I do think Microsoft needs to show something big at E3. Right now, they're losing this console generation.
They've lost this console generation.
They'll show Scorpio.
Yeah.
They will show Scorpio.
I will say,
And
it
I
is
do think they
looking
need a couple
currently
more
that Scorpio
exclusives.
is a much more stable build than the PS Pro.
Yeah.
well, the Scorpio is going to be more powerful
Yeah.
by far.
When
but
the
anyways,
Scorpio releases, it'll be the most powerful console ever
Now,
created.
the cool thing is Scorpio, and what I think is going to happen is they're going to probably show Halo 6 stuff on Scorpio. Now, did y'all, I don't know if y'all read the article for Scorpio, but did y'all see the screenshots? If y'all did read the article, did y'all see the screenshots of Forza on Scorpio?
Really
My
good.
gosh.
Looked like a PC.
It looked
Looked like a really nice PC.
The
Yeah, it
the
looked
newest
better.
one, the newest Forza,
not Forza Horizon 3. I'm talking about the one that's
coming
not
out.
even out yet. But yeah, they showed a screenshot. Can I just say that asphalt looks pretty good? And
I mean,
that tire looks
you also
pretty
got to
good.
keep in mind that everything that's ever shown at E3 never looks as good when it comes out.
I know,
Keep in
but
mind. You should look up.
But that wasn't
fun
even an
fact,
E3 thing.
Fun fact, kids. Every Ubisoft game that's ever been shown at E3 is a lie.
have you seen?
Is a lie.
Actually, Ghost Recon Wildlands is pretty good.
But
No,
all
pretty
the
accurate
Division
to-
stuff.
So yeah,
was-
they got a
The
little
Division
better when
was-
people started calling up. The Division was a lie. It had way more detail in the E3.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Watch Dogs, the first one, was like a completely different game. It like didn't look at all the same.
Oh, don't even get me started on Watch Dogs.
Yeah, but
I didn't
Alright.
even play Watch Dogs, to be completely honest.
So,
Yeah, me
so
either.
my now that we're done with Blake and Dustin's predictions and wish list, it's kind of from me. I'm obviously looking forward to the Sony's press conference because I'm a PlayStation dude. I think Sony is where we're going to see if we do get Red Dead Redemption. I think that's where we're going to see Red Dead Redemption. That's where we're going to see Kingdom Hearts.
What if you see Red Dead Redemption on Scorpio? So what if you see it on the Microsoft stage?
I would be okay with that.
I thought
But-
that they were gonna do. I thought Bungie
But
was gonna do
usually
the-
Rockstar shows off all their games with PlayStation.
I don't know. Scorpio's gonna be the better looking console now.
But PlayStation is
PlayStation
still
has a
winning
contract with them, I think.
Yeah.
Never mind.
It's like Destiny. I believe it's like Destiny.
It's also worth noting that it's pretty much confirmed, not 100%, but like almost everybody believes that Red Dead Redemption 2 is going to get the PC release.
Yeah.
So it's pretty much confirmed.
It seems like a lot of people are expecting Rockstar to do with Red Dead Redemption 2 what they did with Grand Theft Auto.
Everybody's doing it too. Destiny 2, confirmed PC release.
Yeah.
A lot of people are, and that's good. Like, we need more. Like, you don't build up a very good gaming culture with console exclusives. Like, you need to, like, console exclusives are pretty ridiculous in my opinion. Like, I don't think they should ever exist. But I understand why they exist, because of money. But
to be honest,
Money is the root of all
this
evil.
this is the first E3 where I am actually more excited for EA's press conference than I am for Ubisoft's press conference. I don't think Ubisoft has a lot to offer this year, mainly because of their reputation being hammered. Even though For Honor kind of redeemed them in my opinion.
Effed up the past 5 games
Ghost
they released.
Recon. They kind of redeemed themselves with Ghost Recon and For Honor, in my opinion. But EA has got the Star Wars title, and I'm hoping to God that they don't just show off Battlefront 2. I mean, I really think Battlefront 2 is going to be exponentially better than the first one. But in EA's press conference last year, they showed glimpses of all these other Star Wars games that they're showing on.
They need to come out with another like exclusively shipped game. That'd be awesome.
Gosh darn it! I hope they show that rumored Star Wars open world game. Okay, this thing has been rumored to be going on with Visceral for a while. I want to see an announcement about this game.
Didn't they announce a remake of Knights of the Old Republic?
They're thinking about doing a sequel. It was originally supposed to be a remaster. Then it was supposed to be a remake, and now
This
they're
is the
talking
MMO,
about,
correct?
No. The Knights of the Old Republic.
Yeah.
Then they were talking about doing a remaster, then a remake, and now they're talking about just doing a specific, like a straight up sequel.
That'd be sweet.
And gosh darn it, I would be down for that. And so obviously, I talk about this all the time whenever we talk about future games.
Mm-hmm.
Kingdom Hearts 3. Mm-hmm. Come on. This is the year that they have to show something for Kingdom Hearts 3. If they don't,
They've shown something for Kingdom Hearts 3. It was
They
literally
need to-
5 seconds.
You know what they need to do? They need to not show crap until it's ready to freaking come out. Because if they keep, all right, it's one of those.
Again,
If they keep
like
showing stuff about
They
it,
keep teasing.
if they keep teasing, it's just gonna make everyone be like, whatever.
I'm completely.
You should
accepting
never
of the
let
fact
the
that it's coming out
hype
in
build for a
2018
game
now.
longer than 1 year. I think
concur.
that's been established in gaming marketing. How
Especially
disappointed were people with Assassin's Creed Unity, which they did a 2-year marketing thing for? It was.
They did?
Yeah, it did not
don't
live
even
up to
remember
expectation. It like games that
Because
do games that build up hype longer than
How
1
do they
year
do that whenever
are
they produce an
underwhelming.
Assassin's Creed game?
I might be thinking
year?
of Destiny actually.
It's probably Destiny.
Yeah, Destiny
Yeah,
had a
Or
really
Ghost
big,
Recon Wildlands.
Destiny had a really long marketing time, and when it came out, people were like, "So there's no story, and there's nothing else.
Yeah.
Like this is it. Like I saw everything in the trailer."
They also they
Pretty much.
did a
Blizzard
3
came
or
from the
4 year
movie.
marketing for the Division.
Mhm.
Yep.
That was terrible.
The original Division looked pretty sick.
They did
Like
a 3 year
the
they did a
original
3 year marketing for the
thing for
original Watch Dogs too. I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, I think they're wising up and being like, once it's pretty much done, like
That being
we
said,
start
though-
advertising and release it within a year.
That being said, though, the
Rockstar,
final
I hope
thing
they
that
come
I
out
am
of that.
looking forward to and hoping for, aside from all that Star Wars stuff that I'm begging EA to come out with, is I do want to see the progress Ubisoft has done on Assassin's Creed Empire, the rumored game to be in Egypt. I like the idea. I want to see something about it. There was like a leaked screenshot that was released a while back, and it's still up in the air of whether or not that's real. But, anyways, so that's pretty much all of our E3 news. We'll probably fly through the next couple topics pretty quick. So, our next topic.
How about that Avatar though?
Our next topic is going to be news. And I guess I will start off the news segment with last week there was a announcement that James Cameron's Avatar's movies have been confirmed for new releases and stuff like that. Originally, he was going to. I know. Originally, he was going to release it like this year, but they didn't want to. He didn't want to compete.
So we're gonna get
Star Wars.
We're finally gonna see what happens after Fern Gully 1.
Yeah. So they have a newly announced anticipated
You've seen
release
Fern Gully,
dates.
right?
Avatar 2 is now slated for December 18th, 2020, so in 3 years. Avatar 3 is slated for a year after that, in 2021.
Just enough time for that idea to hopefully die.
Avatar 4 is December 20th, 3 years later.
What else are they going to do with the story?
2024. I don't know.
To make it worse.
And then Avatar 5 a year later on December 19th, 2025.
Wait, did you actually like Avatar?
No.
Good.
I mean,
it was a bad movie.
It was all right.
It was literally Fern Gully.
But I literally
was
went to watch it
literally-
because of it being so hyped. That's
It was
the only reason
literally
why I went to go see it.
Fern Gully.
It was Pocahontas mixed with Fern Gully.
Yes. It was the dumbest. I was so upset when I left that movie. I was like, this is the biggest ripoff I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Like, it was 100%. Like, why would they, like, I don't even understand why they would want to go back to that property. Maybe James Cameron just made a deal with him that
other
said
than
they
the fact
had
that
to
it
do
made tons of money.
because it was like the first movie that like
James
had like
Cameron
an
did
insanely
since Titanic.
it was all right. So what was the attraction to that one? The CGI
I guess
was
yeah.
the attraction to
the
it.
length of the movie.
And it's not
maybe.
even like it doesn't even look that great anymore. Like to me, like it just doesn't.
Yeah,
I've tried really hard to justify how they could make more movies based off that movie, and it was so bad, guys. I just don't understand.
So apparently they're shooting all of these movies similarly to the way they shot the Lord of the Rings movies. Like they're shooting them all at one time, the concurrent shooting, which I think actually works. I wish Star Wars would do that, but they don't.
Yeah.
But
Well, they shot the first scene from the island right after that.
yeah,
They literally wrapped and shot the next scene or something like
Next.
that.
but yeah, that's my news. I really think that by the time Avatar 5 rolls around, everybody will be like, okay, this is a dead horse. You can just leave it. You should have left it at
I think that
maybe
by the
after
time that
Avatar 2.
Avatar 2 comes around, there people aren't going to remember.
But
the
it's
first
interesting because every one of these release dates are actually scheduled after the final Star Wars movie is coming out.
because you think they want to compete with that.
James Cameron has already been butthurt butthurt at Disney for saying, "Hey, come on! I was going to release my Avatar sequel at the same time you're releasing Episode 8. Come on!" Because
James
Episode
Cameron,
8 got
I like
delayed.
James Cameron as a director. I just did not think Avatar was a great movie. For instance, Aliens, the sequel to Alien, fantastic film. Like the best sequel I think of any film I've ever seen. The best sequel.
I've not seen an Alien movie.
I will say
think I might
Two
have seen the
Towers.
first one.
Two Towers is up there too. Like Lord of the Rings, Two Towers. That was
Lord of the Rings are my favorite movies.
no. But anyway,
Never
so,
seen a Lord of the Rings.
really,
Go burn.
well,
All right, so Dustin,
this
your news
podcast
topic.
is over.
Yeah, I have all three
Cannot
of them.
sit at the same chair as you anymore.
I have all three of them in my living room.
I will say I
Still-
didn't bother watching the Hobbit movies because they were
they
hot,
were okay.
hot garbage.
Yeah, there was too much CGI. Too much CGI.
They used freaking GoPro footage.
Did they really?
Yes, they used during the. We won't get into this. I've discussed this.
Tell me
before.
more.
Well, we'll discuss it.
All right,
afterwards.
so
But anyway,
your news, Dustin.
we did talk a little bit about Beauty and the Beast. I think we've all seen that, right?
Mm-hmm. Well,
So,
I have.
That was a pretty good movie. I liked it. There was a problem with it that
We'll talk
I've
about
been-
Beauty and the Beast more whenever we get to the review part, though.
Yeah, we'll talk more about that. But anyway, Beauty and the Beast was pretty good. Upcoming news, I would say, movies coming out that I'm most excited about. Obviously, we see Guardians of the Galaxy coming out. At the time this podcast is filmed, it's two days. So it comes out Thursday night for us. So I'm going to go see that, and that's going to be awesome. I already know it is. It's already gotten incredibly high scores everywhere. It's already been released, so.
My biggest thing is it's got 5 post-credit scenes.
That James
5.
Gunn is probably doing that to make fun of it, and I'm really can't wait to see it. So anyway, that being said, I'm really excited for that movie. That's been my number one anticipated film of this year. After that, July. So whenever July, how far away is that? 2 months?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's when we're going to get Spider-Man Homecoming. And then in November, we're getting Thor Ragnarok, guys. That's 3 Marvel films in a year. On top of that, we're getting The Defenders in... when did we say it was? August? Yeah, August. We're getting The Defenders in August. And that's going to be amazing. Like, that's the thing that their series have been building up to. It's just insane. Like, Marvel's just on a roll. Like literally, if nothing else was coming...
everything out the
if nothing else came out this year, we would have 3 incredibly awesome Marvel movies coming out and another Marvel original show. Like, what is even going on? Like, it's amazing.
It's a wonderful time to be a Marvel nerd.
And then Star Wars. Like, I mean, we're just like, it's everything. Like, Disney's just like we own
Disney,
the market
thank
now.
you.
So yeah, all praise.
It's either thank you,
praise
Disney,
be
or
all
God dang
hail.
it, Disney.
But yeah, so like we're just looking at some really awesome things coming out. Like all those things coming out this year are going to be amazing. So you guys should look at Marvel's release date schedule, and also Star Wars again, because those are all coming out in a good time frame. So it's just amazing to see all the stuff that's coming out. Honestly.
So Blake, do you have any news that you would like to elaborate on?
My finals are almost over. I'm just kidding. No, not really. You pretty much covered
Because
it, I'll be honest.
we have one other big news that we need to discuss a little bit, and that is Call of Duty World War II.
Well, aside from that, yeah. So, I'm very excited. I just want to see live.
I think we've all seen the trailer. I know we just watched the trailer simply right before this. Did you see the trailer or anything before that?
Yes.
Okay.
I saw the announcement. I didn't see the trailer.
So I watched the reveal of this thing, and oh my gosh. First of all, thank you, Call of Duty, for going back. And I mean, everybody was making a big deal about how Infinite Warfare pretty much shot Call of Duty in the foot because
which it did.
Battlefield 1 went back to World War 1, and everybody loved it. And then it was announced shortly after that Call of Duty was going to return back to its roots. And everybody was like, "Oh, now they're just following Battlefield 1."
Yeah.
Or Battlefield.
It was in development.
Yeah, exactly. They've been in development for a while, but even still, like the fact that Battlefield
Activision's
1
actually producing this one, so that's kind of cool.
And the fact that Battlefield 1 beat Call of Duty, the leading first-person shooter game, arguably in the market, back to what the consumers actually wanted, that was a big deal.
Well, I mean, if you guys remember, when World at War came out, it was a World War II game, and people were like, "Why haven't you gone to the future?"
It's been 10 years since then.
Why haven't you gone to the future now?
and
so
then
they went to the
game
future.
it was Modern Warfare, and then it
then
was Modern Warfare 3, Black Ops and Modern Warfare 2.
We did Modern Warfare, World at War, Modern Warfare 2.
Oh, yeah,
that was the order it came out in. And like I remember, because to this day, World at War remains my favorite Call of Duty game.
I'm hoping the Call of Duty World War II game does go back to the gruesome parts of World at War.
You know what I'm excited about? Nazi zombies actually being Nazis. Oh my gosh,
dude! They showed a promo photo of it.
I also
and
saw
said
the
that
photo and I was like, oh.
It's basically the Nazi zombies in this game is basically the Nazis are like pushed to the brink of defeat, and they need to come up with something to turn the tide of war back into their favor, and it fails and turns into Nazi zombies. And so there's some kind of story arc. There's some kind of story arc.
I love alternate history.
There's some kind of story arc to Nazi zombies this time around.
I'm pretty excited for the jetpacks too. The Americans used to storm Normandy.
Yeah, that's just called putting grenades on your back.
Yep.
And hoping not to blow up in the process. Also, the multiplayer is also something that I'm looking forward to in Call of Duty World War II. Blake, did you see the brief teaser of the multiplayer?
No.
Okay, so
but I'm about to
set the scene. The modern or Call of Duty basically had like a 5-10 second video of teaser where there's like this huge military camp next to the ocean. There's battleships in the background, and there's this huge military camp of tents and armory and all this other stuff, and 2 characters are up on this hill overlooking it, and you have like what looks to be like 100 players in this camp, kind of like how you have Destiny's Tower. Destiny's
Blake.
Tower
Yeah.
or whatever, where everybody went to and kind of
They have, like, a
organized all
central
their stuff.
hub, yeah.
So did it actually show the gameplay, or
It did not show the gameplay, but it was literally like if
So-
that is what they were aiming for, they
Yeah.
nailed it. I
My
think
guess,
they could do
my
good
guess
with
is
this.
that they're gonna have they're gonna do like the 40-player thing that Battlefront did.
I can see that, yeah.
and I think that'd be pretty cool. But I like you get to a point where like servers are just like
they need to have dedicated servers,
yeah,
which is something that I'm
servers are
butthurt
rough.
about.
Do they still not have dedicated servers?
Call of
Like,
Duty might
what,
not.
Infinite
or-
Warfare?
Call of Duty, I think, does. But I'm talking more so specific to For Honor. For Honor needs
Well,
dedicated servers.
Ubisoft has proven time and time again they just don't know what they're doing with their titles. So like they need to step up. But yeah, this is a pretty interesting trailer.
Yeah, I think that is
I think that they're gonna.
coolest.
Yeah.
Like, that idea is
My guess
pretty
is
cool.
my guess is gonna be 20 on 20. Big for big matches, but they're gonna stick. They're also gonna keep their core audience with the like. What
Now
was it, 10,
they're
10 on
also
10?
saying that their multiplayer. It also sounds like they're kind of going off of some Battlefield 1 elements. Their multiplayer matches are supposed to be somewhat story driven.
That's cool.
So like you'll be able to play the Battle of Normandy in multiplayer, and you'll have one team be the
Everyone who
Allied
gets the
and one
German
team
side
be the
just shoots
Axis.
himself in the head immediately because they can't stand who they are.
and it'll literally in the battle will literally be taking Normandy Beach and moving up on like D-Day, and they'll be able to play Battle of the Bulge, and like it's narratively driven, which I think is a really cool idea. It's like finally something other than just okay.
Someone else tried that and it didn't work out though. I don't remember who it was, but somebody else tried to do story-driven multiplayer and it just didn't work.
I also think that it has to it's got to be pulled off well.
Yeah.
I think Call of Duty would be able to do that.
We'll see. Like I
Also,
said, I haven't played a game. I have not played a Call of Duty since Black Ops 1. I
haven't
not,
played a
none
Call
of
of
them
Duty
looked
since Ghosts.
None of them looked interesting. To
I
me.
played Infinite Warfare, and
Infinite Warfare got good reviews. Like,
Well,
the story
Infinite
well,
Warfare was
multiplayer
designed for the
reviews.
esports wah crowd.
yeah, it was okay. I didn't like the multiplayer, but the campaign was really good. The multiplayer, nah.
I just-
Campaign, I was like,
have
this
not
is
been able to-
Halo before
The first
they made
game that
Spartans.
got me back into first-person shooters had no multiplayer that I can recall. It might have had a multiplayer, but I didn't see it. It was Far Cry 3.
Okay.
That's the
I
first
can
game
see
that got me. And I've been playing through Far Cry Primal for a while now, and like that's a pretty good experience. But even then, Ubisoft has really dropped the ball, like on a lot of things again. But anyway, Call of Duty World War II. I'm gonna say high hopes. We'll see how it happens.
I probably won't
if they make
pre-order
if
it,
they make the Call of
but
Duty
I'll
game
more
that gets
than
me
likely
back into
get
Call
it.
of Duty, you know it was good.
I probably won't pre-order it. I'll probably wait for the reviews and then I'll get it. But yeah, so that pretty much wraps up the news. Let's talk about some of the movies. We briefly talked about Beauty and the Beast. You want to go into more detail about that? Have you seen it, Blake?
I have.
Oh, so
I
all
had-
three of us have seen it.
So I think we all like. I'm guessing you guys liked it. Okay,
I did.
If you wanted to
I
bring
did.
it in, I had one major problem, and that was a more technical thing, which was the CGI. All of it. There's a certain kind of blur that people put on their CGI today to make it look like it's realistic in the environment. Whatever they did in that movie, every single time the
work.
camera panned, every time one of the CGI characters moved, it was way too blurry. Like it
didn't
way
notice
overdid
that.
it. So for me, it
How many
overdid
times
it.
have you seen it? Did you only see
I
it
saw, I
once?
saw it the once, and I also saw it in a theater that probably didn't have as great a projector as some of the big theaters. It was a more smaller home theater, but it was still like like the same kind of project like a good projector and all. But one of the major problems I had was that when I watched it, like every time the camera panned, I could barely see anything. Like I could barely keep track of what was happening at that point. So.
My biggest
Personal
issue, or one of the things that I was really skeptical about whenever I saw the trailer was the way the Beast looked. And whenever I watched the movie, I did not have that effect. The Beast looked fine to me.
Yeah.
In the trailer, it looked. I was a little worried about it, but in the actual movie,
Honestly,
it worked.
out of everyone who sang in that movie, the only two people I liked were Beast and Mrs. Potts. Like literally, like I will
don't
say,
know.
surprisingly,
I really think Emma Watson's character did really well.
I don't. she was not interesting at all. She was the most average singer ever. And that bugged
average,
me.
yes. Average, yes.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying I could do better, and that's not what the story is here. But like, you look at like something like Les Miserables that came out, and like they got
Which
people
I
who were
disliked.
incredible singers.
I disliked Les.
Never saw it.
Yeah.
I disliked it only because I didn't go in knowing what I was going in to watch.
Yeah.
Like I was expecting that.
Well,
to be
it's
more of a
okay. It's okay that
musical.
your soul is owned by Satan, Kevin. We don't have to get too into
I
it.
was under the
but, like,
impression
when
I was
you
going to go
have
into
a
Les
movie-
Mis and it would be a traditional musical where you would sing and then you would actually
when you
talk
have a
dialogue
movie,
and then
you need
would
to get
sing.
people at least on a similar level.
Yeah.
And Emma Watson's not a singer. I hate to break it to people, like she's not. It's very, very
But she's
noticeably,
pretty.
variably noticeably tuned. That was a whole other thing, and this is something else that bugs me. She was like, yeah, she was pretty, and like every female in that town that was meant to be pretty was pretty and had perfect makeup. And it's freaking farm. It's a freaking farmland in like France somewhere, probably.
Yeah.
Like what?
It is France.
Like what? Like people aren't pretty there. Like people are dirty. People like, and even
And
said
hairy.
she.
I
Like,
mean,
they
what?
were not wealthy. Like her and her father,
Yeah.
not wealthy at all.
Yeah.
There's no way. And like I don't know. It just kind of bugged me a little bit. Like I can kind of see.
I think it did good for this.
Yeah.
Good by the source material though.
Yeah. So ultimately, as far as the music goes, 100% still prefer the original film. But
See, this is where I differ.
Mm-hmm.
Like
the song
okay,
they
so I
added
went
for
to go
Beast was
see it.
awesome.
I went to go see the movie, and I really enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
I had some issues with some of the more controversial points in it. Oh, here's one. And we've kind of discussed like my thoughts about this before, but I am not a. Disney came out and confirmed that LeFou was homosexual. Not that big of a deal for me, especially when you watch the movie. All right,
Yeah, like
everybody's like saying, or everybody's up in arms about how great it is that LeFou's supposed to be homosexual. Which okay, but there are people who have then heard this idea about the homosexuality.
Every single person I know who said that going into the movie that they knew about it said that they must have missed the scene where they showed it.
Exactly,
Because it was such a small. It was
I
literally
know
nothing.
people who wouldn't go see the movie because of the confirmation that LeFou was gay.
Mm-hmm.
I went to see the movie knowing this, but then after getting out, there was really only one scene at the very end where you had a hint of the idea, and I didn't think it was exponentially worth talking about. So,
That's another thing is like I think people freak out way too much at the idea of
Yeah.
gay characters in general.
but anyway, overall, I really enjoyed the movie. I liked it, and then like the same day after I got back from the theater that night, I watched the animated movie. I came to and this is gonna be a very unpopular thought, but I actually
already
like the
is.
live. I actually like the live adaptation better than the original.
There's only one song that I think the live action did, and that's because it wasn't even in the original. And that was Beast's song.
Yeah.
So Beast's song in the new movie, amazing. It fits perfectly with the setting. As far as like the rest of it goes, I think the original singer for Belle in the film was much better, and that was very important because obviously she's a very primary focus. I will say Emma Watson's acting was pretty dope. She did good. Beast,
I think she was pretty good.
the
there.
Beast. I don't know if you guys heard, like when he was recording his singing parts, they actually gave him fangs to wear in the recording studio.
I did not.
Like they custom fit fangs to his mouth, so he learned like when he sang, he did it with fangs in his mouth. So that was cool.
Blake, your thoughts on
It's pretty good.
that's
Pretty
it.
It's pretty good.
Pretty good.
I watched it and I was like, it's okay.
All right, so one other movie that I wanted to bring up is Fate of the Furious. I know none of you guys really.
I've never seen it.
I have not seen it, and I will
Interested.
not be seeing it.
I went to go see it twice, and I personally think another unpopular belief. Apparently, I actually think Fate of the Furious is the best movie in the entire series.
Have fun with that.
Because one, I think there's actually a really good story there. I think the family thought and story that they have throughout the entire movie. Really, series does.
Did you know
show
that movie was about family? Because they only said that word in the trailer 40 times.
I didn't get that. Are there cars in that movie too?
It's about family,
Fast
man.
cars.
Family and
And a
cars
submarine.
and family. Yo, man, what
But
you gonna turn your back on a family? Family's everything,
main
Dom.
reason
Dom,
why-
come back to your family.
The main reason why I bring it up though is, and I mean, this isn't a huge like mind-blowing thing.
Mm-hmm.
It is if you're a Star Wars fan like myself, but it beat out, like, its debut beat out Star Wars The Force Awakens.
That's a little surprising.
But I mean,
Still not convincing me.
but the reason why is because Fate of the Furious was released in almost all markets at the exact same time. The Force Awakens was not.
Yeah, The Force Awakens did like a section.
Yeah. It was released in America at one point in time, and then it was released in China a little bit, like a week or so later, or something like that. So, there's that. We already talked about Guardians of the Galaxy, which we're all going to go see at some point, I would imagine. Blake's not going to go see it.
Yes, it
Okay.
is.
Spider-Man Homecoming, which is coming out in July. Thor Ragnarok, which is coming out in November. The Thor Ragnarok's trailer had my single favorite moment in a trailer.
I like how they're crossing it over with the Guardians theme.
I also, but they're also kind of adding in Hulk's Planet Hulk into it as well. But the part where Thor and Hulk fight each other, and he's like, "Yes, I know him from work." And then they still have to fight, and he's like, "Oh, great." So it'll be interesting how they spin that off. Another thing to note is,
I don't think they're going to go through with the full Planet Hulk storyline.
I don't think so either.
It's going to be kind of because Planet Hulk involved like a him getting betrayed by Tony Stark, who was in charge of Shield at the time in the comics. So I doubt they're going to go full on Planet Hulk, but they might do something with it.
Yeah.
They might dabble in it. They might dabble.
Devil.
Kind of like how they dabbled in Civil War for the Civil War movie. They kind of got some of it in
And
there.
then they were kind of like, all right, we're friends again.
Well, not really. Like, Captain America is now a terrorist. So
That is true.
at the end of Civil War, we leave off with Captain America as like one of the most
Did you
wanted.
see the rumor or somewhat confirmed rumor about Stan Lee's character?
Yeah, that he's the Watcher.
Yeah,
A
or
Watcher?
part of the Watchers, like the Watchers are using him to
Mm-hmm.
kind of keep tabs on everything on Earth or whatever. Like, what was the guy's name? Ubantu or whatever. Apparently, that's still owned by Fox.
The living. He's like the living embodiment of time and space or something like that.
Yeah, apparently Fox still owns the character Ubantu or whatever. I don't.
So they
even know
can't
if I'm
come
saying
right out
it.
and say it.
So they
Yeah.
can't say they can't use that specific character in the Marvel movies, but they can still use the Watchers in the Marvel movie as long as it's not that specific character.
One major development since last time, and I don't know if we talked about it in the last podcast, one major development in the entire Marvel storyline right now is that the one character who's ever beaten Thanos has been introduced now. That's Doctor Strange. Because Doctor Strange uses a weapon that is mentioned exclusively in Doctor Strange, and it's the only other weapon that has weapon-to-weapon defeated Thanos with his gauntlet.
I don't think I knew that.
So fun fact. Fun fact, ladies and gents.
Spoiler for Doctor Strange 2.
Oh, Doctor Strange is going to be in Thor Ragnarok, too.
Nice.
You think so?
It's
I mean, I know
confirmed.
the post cut.
I thought it was confirmed.
I didn't think it was.
Pretty sure it's confirmed.
I didn't
Yeah,
know
it's
it was
pretty sure it's
confirmed. I knew Thor was in the post credit scene for Doctor Strange, if I remember correctly.
He was. And he said, hey, we need to go find... So Thor Ragnarok is Thor going back in search of his father.
And Doctor
So
Strange
now
is helping him.
it is possible. The only possibility that Doctor Strange wouldn't be in Thor is if Ragnarok happens before the events of Doctor Strange, which is possible. They've jumped around a bit. The beginning of Doctor Strange
hold on.
happens before anything.
What was Thor's hair like at the end cutscene?
It was full,
Okay, so
so
this
it's
take.
possible it could take place before.
Nah. Oh yeah, it could. He could have grown his hair back out. That's right.
Could have. There's a lot of things that could.
Moving on.
But anyway, so the whole all this to say, it's very possible that he could be a player in Thor Ragnarok. If not, they kind of wasted that after credit scene. If he's not going to be in Thor Ragnarok, I'm going to be real.
So that pretty much does it with the movie talk. Usually what we want to do here on System Glitch Podcast is have a specific game that we spotlight every month. This month is a little bit
Underwhelming
in releases. And I mean, April was underwhelming. May is going to be underwhelming for some of us. So the game that we decided to spotlight is Injustice 2. We're not going to take too much time on it like we would have Mass Effect Andromeda had we done that last month. But Injustice 2 is coming out on May 16th, which is 2.5 weeks before Wonder Woman. So I'm kind of wondering if they're going to kind of use this as some kind of marketing campaign or strategy for the movie. I doubt it because it's not a specific Wonder Woman movie. But even still, noted that it does come out 2.5 weeks before Wonder Woman. And one of the things that I've noticed about both Injustice games, but specifically the second one, is they have it seems like an unlimited amount of marketing resources for this thing because they produce trailers like there's no tomorrow for this thing. And the list of characters for Injustice 2 are pretty big, actually. I don't know if it's more. I think it's more than the original Injustice. But
I have a theory about that game. People are going to punch each other.
and kick each other.
And they're going to
kick each
other.
And there's going to be supers.
Fight each other.
And there's going to be combos.
Spank each other.
And I'm going to be bad at it.
And it's still going to be... And it's still not going to be as good as For Honor.
And I'm not going to play it because I suck at fighting games.
Injustice, you would be good at For Honor.
The storyline of Injustice was actually pretty cool because they actually did follow the comic book a little bit. And it was pretty cool. But
so I
literally watched all the cutscenes of the first game together because I couldn't stand to play.
I didn't know there was a story.
Yep,
and I didn't know there was a comic book that went along with it.
There's this cool part where in the alternate universe, Damian Wayne kills Robin and becomes that universe's Nightwing. So he kills Dick Grayson, and so in that universe, the Batman from that universe and that Nightwing, Damian Wayne's Nightwing, come together, and he's like, if you're Batman, you beat him, and he says, putting me down again, father? And then he looks down at him, pulls him really close, and just does, you are no son of mine, and punches him out. I'm like, get some aloe for that burn, boy.
Gracious.
So anyway, Injustice 2 starts with over 25 fighters apparently. And there's going to be
bad
more.
At 25 different characters, Blake.
Exactly.
Yes.
Meanwhile, if you played For Honor, you'd only be bad at maybe 5 out of the 12. But anyways, so some of the confirmed ones are Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, everybody. I think those were 2 people that were
Harley
in the
Quinn.
original. Supergirl, Aquaman, Atrocitus, I have no idea who that is. Gorilla Grodd, Deadshot, Harley Quinn, Flash, Blue Beetle, Bane, Poison Ivy, Brainiac, Robin, Black Canary, Swamp Thing,
and the
Catwoman,
list goes on and on. You don't need to name every single one
Cyborg,
of them.
Cyborg, Dr. Fate, Green Lantern, Firestorm, Green Arrow,
Mr. Good Guy, Mr.
Black
Bad Guy,
Adam,
Mr.
Captain
Good Guy,
Cold, Scarecrow,
Mr. Good Guy, Mr.
Dark
Bad Guy.
Side, and the Joker. And there's going to be more, but I mean,
I don't care.
There's the 25 that are.
I don't
official,
care.
and those are the ones that are official.
And for all of you, you could have looked that up online. Yeah.
But why would you go online when you could find it here? Anyways, enough of that. No, that's about all we got for today's podcast, ladies and gentlemen. I thank you guys for tuning in and listening to our podcast. The next episode, we're going to maybe try and do May 26th or around that week, maybe a week later. Heck, we might just push back the once a month to the first week of every month or whatever. But yeah, so here's a little bit more. Next month might actually be a little bit more movie heavy since none of the video games coming out this month are going to be very enticing for us to go get and play and have a decent review for. But there's a lot of movies coming out next month that there's a potential that we have interest in seeing. Most notably, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, which is released May 5th, we will have a review for you guys next podcast. King Arthur Legend of the Sword. I don't know if it's any of your guys' interest, but it's a King Arthur movie, so I'm definitely.
And it looks like it's going to kick. at sign dollar sign dollar sign.
That comes out May 12th. The movie The Wall, which is a military movie, I'm interested in.
Is that the one in China?
No.
Okay, good.
It's already coming out.
That one's
It's
already
called The Great Wall.
Yeah, and I heard it was
the movie The Wall is a military movie
okay.
starring John Cena. Basically, two soldiers pinned down by a sniper, and the only cover they have is a wall.
Because John Cena is such a fantastic actor.
I know, right? That comes out May 12th as well. Alien Covenant, which is rumored to be the most gruesome, goriest Alien movie to date. That comes out in May 19th. I'm not going to go see it, but a lot of people like the Alien movies.
I like them, but it does not look good to me at all.
A movie we've briefly talked about before the podcast started, Baywatch.
Oh, yes.
The new movie starring Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and Zac Efron.
It looks pretty good.
Comes out May 26th.
Hilarious.
I know my brother's going to want to go see it because he's a huge
I love it how
fan.
like people are taking real quick like old school stuff and just like being like, and then we're just gonna make fun.
I'm
of
not
it.
gonna lie. I
Like,
really want to
without
see
remorse.
Baywatch simply for Alexia Daddario or whatever her name is.
She's pretty cute.
Fine.
She's pretty cute. I'll give her that.
And then Pirates of the Caribbean 5, Dead Men Tell No Tales. That comes out May 26th as well. Johnny Depp's back. Orlando Bloom is back. Keira Knightley's back. So that'll be interesting. A lot of people are saying that this is going to be the last movie anyway, but they said that the last movie was going to be the last
just
movie.
let the series end. Just let
It's
it end.
actually kind of weird because Johnny Depp has aged tremendously badly since the last movie, and now he looks like he's
been through a divorce and probably taken up his drug use again. So
I mean, but all that
Probably.
makeup, you can tell that makeup is really
Heavy.
sticking out like a sore thumb in the trailers alone. So it'll be kind of interesting to see what we got there. Again, May's the list of games coming out in May are very, very few. Guardians of the Galaxy Telltale series comes out. Actually, it came out today. May 2nd.
I watched somebody start playing that. It looks okay. It's
Telltale
weird.
usually does pretty good with their
It's all different
with their
voice
storylines.
actors. So like they didn't keep any
Yeah.
of the voice actors from the movie.
Yeah, that's the thing that I think is going to turn off a lot of people. Again, Injustice 2, we just talked about that. That comes out May 16th. And then the VR Star Trek game, Star Trek Bridge Crew, which is getting good reviews, actually. A lot of people that I've been hearing about with that have played the game have already said that this could potentially be a VR seller. And I believe it. I watched the gameplay. It looks really good. If I had Star Trek Bridge Crew.
Oh.
I'm just a poor whittle boy, but a game that came out recently, it is already out, is the Rick and Morty VR experience, which is based off of the Adult Swim show. Guys, I watched so many people play it. I one day want to play it. Look it up online, and you will see why this is probably one of the greatest VR games ever made. It's hilarious. It's actually a full game. Like, they actually put, like, hours of content into it. So, you guys should definitely check that game out. I've been watching a lot of people play it. They all seem to really like it. So, one day I'll be able to when I get made rich from the internet.
All right, but those are really the three main games in May coming out that are of any interest. So that pretty much does it for the podcast, ladies and gentlemen. We talked about the Star Wars celebration. We talked about some of the Call of Duty World War II, what our thoughts were on each thing. We talked about the Avatar movies coming out that are a little bit far-fetched in our opinions. And we talked about the movies that we watched recently. Any other final closing comments from the gallery?
Suck it.
I love you all.
We love you all.
I don't want to go to work, but I have to.
I don't love you guys, but I have a respect for you.
Again, thank you guys for watching. Subscribe to each one of our YouTube channels or our social medias. Go ahead and list your social medias. Dustin,
Cyborg Centaur. You can find me on Twitter at Cyborg Centaur, except with a 0 instead of a no.
All right, and you can find me at G2 Gaming with the Gandyman and on Twitch under Phoenix Drag. So you have me there, or you can follow me on Twitter at gaming_G2 as well.
And you can follow me on Twitter at Parker203. I had to look that up. That's my bad.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll see you guys next time.
Bye-bye.
Ta-ta.